Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Wineaux guy here. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. This beautiful day we have outside today. I want to talk to you about episode 2 of Taste Like a Pro. What we're going to talk about briefly is letting it breathe. You probably heard that statement. Did you let it breathe? And you're like, let what breathe? It's just a bottle, right? So it's a bottle of wine. Well, what we're going to do with this bottle of wine, we're going to let it breathe. And I'm going to show you how to let it breathe and why we let it breathe. Mini bottles, for example, I've got 2 wines here. One is a 2018, one is a 2017. So 18, 19, 20, 2 years, 17, 18, 19, 23 years old. And that's about average, right? Some wines like Nouveau Beaujolais in October is only weeks old, but so you don't really have to aerate those. But it doesn't hurt. Never hurts. And of course you see people always doing this, right? Going through all kind of shenanigans, if you will, on tasting wine, but it works. Pros love to do that because it works. Now, in a restaurant setting, they probably wouldn't make as big a deal about it, but they definitely are going to take it, breathe in through the nose, taste it, breathe some air in when they take the wine in to get all the benefit of all the flavor profile. So now, let's just say you're at a restaurant. You can take something like this, or something like this. Watch how this works. See, it aerates the wine as it's going into the glass. I think you can see that. By the way, glass. Speaking of glass, check this out. I got this from my little sister. She gave me Savory Sips by Wineaux guy. So excited. I was so proud and pleased, and I will be using these glasses every time I do a class now. So that's how you do that. Now, that being said, here's another one, another glass, Wineaux guy. But here's a look at this little gizmo. My daughter got me this one, and works the same way. You turn it upside down. Very slowly. You don't have to do it gently, so it won't spill all over the place unless you do it messy. But look at all those bubbles in there. Can you see that? And wow, the smell is just amazing. It allows oxygen to get into the wine. And why does oxygen need to get into the wine? Well, it has been in a sealed bottle for years, months, many years, sometimes decades. And that's one way to do that. Now, let's say you're at home. You want to do this if you get a chance to get one of these. It's called a decanter. You can get these on Amazon or eBay or whatever. So many places you get Bed Bath & Beyond, whatever. Now, the main thing about this is I'm not going to pour wine in this right now, but you would pour it in. Personally, I use the spout and aerate it as it's going into the aeration, the decanter. A full bottle, 750 milliliters, will go right here, which is, as you can see, the most airspace you can get in this bottle. Airspace is important because that means the air is sitting on it. Every now and then you just pick it up and do this. Just ever so gently, because there may be sediment and you want to try to let some of that sediment settle to the bottom. That being said, decanter tools, letting it breathe, back to our 5 S's, you remember that? So we look, we see it, we determine color. What does that color look like to you? From here, you probably see that it looks kind of yellowish, right? And this one obviously looks kind of purple. Well, they are that color, and that's good that you can see that because that tells you something about it. This is a Malvasia Bianca, and this is a Petite Syrah. Tends to be that kind of color. Once you start doing this often, you'll understand that certain colors of juice gives you a hint of what kind of wine you're drinking or what kind of varietal it is. So, that being said, we see it, sniff it, swirl it, sniff it again, and then sip it. Get that air in there. Try it. Just try it. Breathe a little bit through your nose, keep some in your mouth, and go before you swallow. Again, you don't have to do this at a restaurant like this, unless, why not? Most of my friends that hang around with me, that go drinking wine with me, we all do that now because they can see the value that it brings. If it's very high in alcohol, decanting and aerating allows the alcohol to kind of get out of the glass a little bit, because we're not drinking wine to get drunk anyway, at least not at our age anymore. There was a time when that probably was the case, and that was called Boone's Farm or something, I remember. So in those days we did. And nowadays we want flavor. That's why people have their favorites. That's why so and so and so. I mean, I could name them all different kinds of grapes and varieties and companies that people just love. So let it breathe, let it breathe, let it breathe. That's how we let it breathe. Wineaux Guy checking out. I will see y'all soon. Cheers. Have a good day. Depending on what day you're listening to this, have a good weekend. Spring is coming. See you around. Bye.